I'm only going to be giving scientific facts only. Let him answer me.
Evidence-based.
Evidence-based, yes. Yes, let's continue.
Don't you know you are here to manage the earth on my behalf? Rule like I rule, reign like I reign.
So when things are out of order on the earth, there is war, children dying, it's because we are not taking responsibility. It's like that water. You have all the reasons that you say, God, come and give the water in my mouth. Ah, you sick? Use your hands. Don't call God to leave his own jurisdiction and be fixing what you're supposed to be fixing. And that's what most of our prayers are all about. In Africa, everybody is praying. In fact, 90% of the prayers we are praying in Africa are a waste of time. Make you know that.
It's true.
It's waste of time. Because in most of those prayers, he's asking God to come and fix what God said we should fix. It's like, please come and do your work. The water. He's about to drink water. He's thirsty. He wants to drink water. The water there for here, and he's asking God to come and fix it, to come and bring the water to his mouth. That's what we are doing in Africa. Asking God to come and do what he has already told us to do. Then number two things Africans are praying about is that we are praying that God should do for us what he has already done. Only we need knowledge to be aware. It's a catastrophic situation with religion in Africa. It's catastrophic. Catastrophic.
Dear sir, to support what you're saying, God has deposited all the natural resources in Africa.
Yeah. The water is there.
And then we're in churches praying for deliverance.
Can you believe
we
it?
have gold, diamonds, silver, oil, name it. It's in Africa. But we're still praying for God to come and help Africa. I don't understand.
Ignorance.
Rule like I rule, reign like I reign.
You see? I reign over the whole universe, the galaxies, the stars, the moon, everything. But you are only little earth like this. Manage it like I manage the universe. Rule like I rule over the universe.
Restore order like I do, and manage the earth like I manage the universe.
Bring order to the earth, like there is order in the universe. Yeah.
Why have you refused to act it out? Next. People have refused to live the sacrificial life of personalities who refuse to take responsibility.
Personalities are responsible people. Yes. And to be a responsible person, you live a sacrificial life. But we want to live like animals. Who don't need to think about anything, who don't need to take responsibility for anything. Yes.
People have refused to live the sacrificial life of personalities who refuse to take responsibility for other people's plight, perish and die like ordinary men.
Those people, when you refuse to become personality, you have the second option. You are forgotten. You perish and die like mere men. And you are forgotten in the annals of Israel. And that's why I say, I don't care how many children you have. They will forget you. Not be me alone who will forget. Not only our contemporary will forget you. Even those children themselves will forget you. That's why you don't remember your generation in the last four generations. You don't. Because that's just the way it is. If they don't live for something greater than themselves, if they didn't live for people and for purpose, two things, two P's, for people or purpose. If you don't live for people or purpose, you are forgotten. You are going to be forgotten. It's not a cause. So when I said that in Africa one time, they say, Pastor, no, I reject it. They are doing something like this. Huh? Yeah, back to sender. I reject it over my head or over my. Yeah, it will never happen. Okay. Okay. Over your dead. Okay. Because they think I was cursing them. I was just telling them the obvious. Go ahead.
Only one option. Okay. Character 2, children of God. Next.
Remember, we are talking about 5 characters that I saw in that passage.
Yes.
The first character was who? God. The second character are the sons of the God, the children of God, sons of God.
Those of whom God expects much. Children that were not supposed to remain.
Remember that story, or we need to go back to the story? No, you could remember. They calling them gods or sons.
Yes.
Okay.
Children that were not supposed to remain children in thinking and in action. Children of whom God expected growth and maturity. God waited. They will live for the purpose of God, not for their own.
So that they will live. Yeah.
God waited so that they will live for the purpose of God, not for their own survival and convenience.
And they did it. Okay.
A day is coming when God would stand up to judge those who didn't take charge of the affairs of the earth.
See? Read that again.
A day is coming when God will stand up to judge those who didn't take charge of the affairs of the earth.
And that's what we were seeing in that Psalm 82. Okay, that day came, and that was a prophetic vision. When God was standing amidst his own children and judging them. And judging them for what? Basically for one thing. They refused to take charge of the affairs of the earth. Yes. And each one of us has responsibility. There is no way you are sent to this world and you are here alive without a mission. God doesn't send anybody here empty-handed. Every one of us has been sent here with some burden in your heart. Like that burden is there. That burden is there. You have to discover, and that burden is a pointer to the sphere of life where you are supposed to restore order to, where you're supposed to bring the heart of, make the heart of God to be at peace. Because when you take charge of it, when you are bringing justice, equity, righteousness, and truth there, the heart of God is at peace. Okay.
Next. What you tolerate, you accept. What you refuse to fight dominates you.
Whatever you tolerate,
you accept.
That means you accept it. And once you accept it, it begins to dominate you.
Lack of decision is also a decision.
Whatever you refuse to resist dominates you. Lack of decision is also a decision. So, for example, let's say whatever you tolerate, you accept. Let's go back to that. In Nigeria, for example, we just tolerate things. Lack of electricity, NEPA, so we think we find an excuse. We want somebody to blame, you tolerate it, it means you accept it. Bad governance, Buhari, APC, PDP. You tolerate it, it means you accept it. No water flow, no water system. This government is the governor. These people. You tolerate it, you accept it. And what does that mean, tolerate? Tolerate is when you refuse to resist, when you refuse to fight, when you resist to fight. And when people don't want to fight, they'll just say, okay. You refuse to fight. Anything you refuse to resist or fight dominates you eventually. So, for example, there is lack of NEPA. You are not fighting against something, darkness will now come and dominate you. Water used to flow before in the house, little by little. No water system. But because we tolerate it's coming. They have taken it came today. It came for 1 hour 2 hours But later on, because you are tolerating it, you know what happened? It comes up, all of it. It dried up. Why? Because whatever you tolerate dominates. Road before. Pothole now. They didn't do this pothole now. You didn't fight. You didn't resist. Now I see some roads. Even pothole no day. The only valley of darkness, the shadow of the valley of darkness that they pothole, okay. No more pothole. Pothole don't dominate now. Yes, everything is now pothole. There are no road left, only pothole. Why? Anything you refuse to resist and fight against, when you just dominate it, tolerate it, you will not know, but it will come and then totally come and take over and dominate. Anything you tolerate, anything you resist to fight, you tolerate. And when you tolerate, it dominates you. Because you don't want to fight. So that's why personalities fight for something. All the time they are fighting for something. But you know when you come to church, you know what they tell you? They say, don't worry, you believe God, now you don't have problem. Now all the problem will be gone. We just pray, everything will be okay. No. That's why God has made life in such a way that you will never overcome all problems. All the problems will not disappear, never. You pray, they pray for you, they pour oil. But when you just overcome one, another one just come out. When you just overcome one, another one just come out. Why? Because God makes us fighters. God wants us to always fight for something, to always stand for something, to always resist something. But not fighting things that come to you by default, because of your negligence or something. But you should be fighting for a cause. You should be offensive. You should be fighting for a cause. Live for a cause. That is the kind of fight we are supposed to be fighting. Not the fighting of cancer because you didn't show initiative. You are supposed to be fighting for justice, fighting for equity, fighting for truth, fighting for righteousness, leading the way, defending the poor, the fatherless, the widow. That is the kind of lifestyle everybody is supposed to be having. You see. But today in Christianity, they think that God is going to fight for you. Don't worry. You just go and pray. Go to night vigil. Ignorance, na bad thing, no.
By refusing to judge the wickedness of the earth,
you see,
people are actually exercising another kind of judgment. The unjust judgment and the permissive judgment.
When we refuse to actively fight wickedness, when we refuse to actively judge wickedness, we're actually siding with the wicked and the unjust. We are promoting wickedness and unjust through our permissiveness and through our lack of action. By lack of action against wickedness, we are promoting wickedness. By lack of action against unjust, we are promoting injustice. Okay.
Next. Every time you do a good deed, you shine the light a little farther into the dark. And the thing is, when you are gone, that light is going to keep shining on, pushing the shadows back. Charles DeLint.
Beautiful. Can you say that again?
Every time you do a good deed, you shine the light a little farther into the dark. And the thing is, when you are gone, that light is going to keep shining on, pushing the shadows back.
You remember the 2 P's? When you live for people and for purpose, you see? Even when you are gone, that line that you have shined, it keeps on shining, pushing back shadows. So it is not about what we are able to accomplish, but what we are able to trigger. Trigger something with your life. Use your life to set something in motion. Trigger is like a locomotive. Locomotive train. If you put them on the rail and you just let it just be going, you don't need to sit down there and you just trigger it. The thing is already there. So it is not what we do and what we're able to accomplish by ourselves alone. But let's trigger something. Let's trigger this movement. It's just like this, my crusade against the abuse of tithe, prostitution of tithe and offering. I started it. I'm not talking about that again. I moved on. After that, I've spoken about cult. After that, I've spoken about no truth. After that, I've spoken about paganism. After that, I've spoken of, I'll keep on going. But I've triggered it. Now that the freeze. So it's not about what you are able to do by yourself. Trigger something. Set something in motion. And when we are gone, that light will keep on shining.
Next slide. Failure of men to become gods. Global shaking.
You see, when we fail to act, to take responsibility, to bring justice,
Global shaking.
The shaking of anything. It could be economy, it could be social life, it could be children, it could be war. You see, why is that war? Because some sons are not taking responsibility when they were supposed to. Why are those children out of school? Because some sons are not doing what they're supposed to. So global shaking.
Collapse of structures and systems.
You see? In my country, because all the people who are supposed to be building the structure and systems, you know where they are? They are in churches doing night vigil. And hallelujah night. You know, when I began to talk about that hallelujah something, they were thinking that this man, in fact, some people just left my platform altogether and say, this one is too much, Jare. I told you, cannot even sing. So now praise and worship is bad. So they said, this man, we don't even know what it was. And I was telling them, please take your time, give me benefit of a doubt. Don't just be annoyed and go. But people are impulsive. But they are not getting what I try to explain what I'm trying to say. But how can song, praise and worship song, to worship God be bad? In fact, some Christians now, they have gotten to the Americans because they don't have anything to do. So they are now saying, you know what they will tell you? They will say, we are created to sing praise and worship, to worship God. And when they talk about worship God, they are not saying worshiping God through righteousness, through justice, through So when they are talking about worshiping God, that we are created to worship God, they are only thinking about singing. Can you believe it? So some Christians, so we have a whole generation of Christians that believe that we are created to worship God. I too believe we are supposed to worship God, but not singing. Because the first time worship was used was Abraham taking his son Isaac to sacrifice. Worshipping God is sacrificial lifestyle every day to accomplish the will of God. So Abraham wanted to accomplish God's will, which was to go and sacrifice his son. It was sacrificing. So to worship means bringing together the will of God that is in heaven on the earth through daily sacrifice, sacrificing yourself, using your energy and all that. Sacrifice lifestyle. That is worship. But today, this is that day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. Just then I started seeing some horrible things that started to happen. Even today I saw it. We will have some men. I mean, this is disgusting. In fact, by the time I said, thank God God has not allowed me to live, because when I get to Nigeria, I am going to go to court. I am going to seek a way to redress that. I want to ban that dancing they are doing. Some women will be shaking their backside, and some men will be, and they are doing that in church.
What?
No. Yes. You didn't see the video I showed. I showed the video now. So yeah, they are shaking the backside, and so that is what they are doing in church now. So I want to ban it. I want to see, and they are saying praise and worship.
Which church is it?
All kind of churches, any kind of church now is shaking. It's about shaking backside in church, and because there is no work to do.
It's not church. It's called. We'll go to court. It's not church. No, it's called. Yeah, but it's called satanic.
Well, it's called church, yes. Because that's what people are now doing. Because they think that we are created to worship. I mean, to sing. So they are now doing all kind of moves. Everybody is talking about my next move, right? And then other girls, other people will be around and say, hey, yeah. Animals. Because they are not busy with justice. They are not busy with equity. They are not busy. They are not having nothing doing. Animal lifestyle, biomasses. And I want to go to court, not just to bind that, because it's dehumanizing us. Not just to ban it in churches, but I want to ban it in society at all. That anybody that will show those kind of moves and dancing in TV, let them go to jail. Me, I'm going to cause trouble for everybody in that country.
They sing in church. One of these popular. And they sing shocky, 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 shocky.
Can you believe it?
And shocky, shocky is sex, 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 sex.
Yeah.
That's what shocky, shocky means. Yeah.
Can you believe it?
It is, and they sing it in church. When all these musicians say shocky, 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 it means sex, 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 and they sing it in church.
No, it doesn't mean sex. It means fuck, fuck, fuck.
Oh, wow, Pastor, that's too. That's too.
Yeah.
You were singing. Not in the church.
But you see the movement, you will know exactly what they mean. Even through the movement, you know exactly what it means. So please, I beg you now. I mean, things are so bad. Things are so bad. Things are very bad.
Failure of men to become gods, global shaking, collapse of structures and systems, the very foundations of the earth are adversely affected. They die like mere mortals. Next. The master of the garden is the one who waters it, trims the branches.
You see, it's not God that's supposed to come and fix. God has put us in charge of the garden of the earth, called earth. We are the masters. We are the gods of the earth. It is the master of the garden, the owner of the garden, the master, the person in charge, who is supposed to be doing the trimming, the watering, and all that. But we want to just pray and say, okay, God, oh, now you give me the garden, oh, make it. But I've already given you the garden. Take care of it. But we are praying to God to come and fix it for us. Please read it again.
The master of the garden is the one who waters it, trims the branches, plants the seeds, and pulls the weeds. If you merely stroll through the garden,
that's what we want to do. We want to stroll and go to work and come back, sleep with some, wives or husband and have some children. I mean, reckless, useless kind of lifestyle.
If you merely stroll through the garden, you are but an acolyte.
Yeah.
Right, not so right.
Yeah,
that's
infidel. That's how people live. I mean, just irresponsible lifestyle.
Character 3, poor, fatherless, needy, and defenseless. Next. They are left alone in their plight.
These are the ones who are supposed to be living for. The ones who are supposed to be defending, bringing justice to, equity to, truth to, righteousness to.
They remain poor where they could have been delivered from poverty. They remain defenseless where they could have been protected. They are left fatherless where they could have been covered. They are left without justice where they could have been acquitted. They are left in needs where their needs could have been met.
There is nothing for me to say here. Just go to Africa. Just go to Africa. Economy, politics, social life, everything out of order because personalities are not available to fix them.
We should be remembered for the things we do. The things we do are the most important things of all. They are more important than what we say or what we look like.
And people today, they want to look like something and they think that is more important. How they look. I mean, in Africa today, so they call something packaging. I mean, you see pastors, I mean, the people like that, Oyakilome or whatever they call it. He has just brought the influence of, I mean, he has just brought so much destruction to that country. I mean, he has influenced a whole generation of people who just want to think about Jerry Coyle and their looks. So they now think, that's not bad. You could still look okay if you are living for, if you put justice and those things ahead. But now it is all about packaging. So people who have nothing, who don't have content, they want to have looks. And you don't have the right to have looks if you don't have content. Your look is supposed to manifest who you are inside. Nobody is telling them that. If you don't have content, why do you have look? It's useless. Because it will be busted one time. It will bust one time. Because the truth will come out. That you are not in accordance to who you are inside. If I look the way I look, it's because it's reflecting something. But if you have nothing inside, no value systems, and you are just about packaging, that's what our country has become. Emptiness. You are packaging emptiness. Please, make you read.
We should be remembered for the things we do. The things we do are the most important things of all. They are more important than what we say or what we look like. The things we do outlast our mortality. The things we do are like monuments that people build to honor heroes after they've died. They are like the pyramids that the Egyptians built to honor the pharaohs. Only instead of being made out of stone, they are made out of the memories people have of you. That's why our deeds are like your monuments, built with memories instead of with stone. RJ Palacio. We are all alive to make the life of somebody better. We are not created to live for ourselves. You are only human to the extent you serve others.
You are only human to the extent you serve and live for others. PP, people or purpose.
We should all aspire not just to live an ordinary life, but the extraordinary life, the life of a personality. Next. Character for the wicked. The wicked stands for everything: injustice, oppression, poverty, represents affliction, lack of justice,
needs,
fatherlessness, lack of defense, vulnerability, etc.
That's just your failure to provide those things qualifies you to be wicked. You are on the side of the oppressor. If you are not providing solution, you remember the 3 sons of Adam. Yeah, go ahead.
God sends everyone who refuses to live for themselves. Okay, everyone who refuses, God sends everyone who refuses to live for themselves.
God can only trust and send people who refuse to live for themselves. Mm-hmm. People who embrace the life of service. People who live sacrificial lifestyle. People who are personalities. Those who make a difference in the life of others. Like this lady, for example. She was nobody. The Danish girl that married a Nigerian. She moved to Nigeria because she married, and she was just like Patu, hippie kind of girl. But because she saw children dying in the street, and from her culture, she don't pass by things like that. But thousands of Nigerians don't even care; they just pass by anyhow. So she started rescuing, and now she's a national hero. She's like Mother Teresa of Nigeria now. Okay, go ahead.
Next.
She's not even a Christian.
Abundance isn't God's.
Christians are passing by. Going to church. Yeah.
Abundance isn't God's provision for me to live in luxury. It's His provision for me to help others live.
You see? That's the reason for prosperity. All those prosperity gospel they are talking about, they don't understand the purpose of prosperity.
God entrusts me with His money, not to build my kingdom on earth, but to build His kingdom in heaven.
You see?
Randy Alcorn.
You see? Go ahead.
Next. When men refuse to pay their price. The price. When men refuse to pay the price of becoming personalities, our earth is littered with wickedness, injustice, poverty, affliction, needs, fatherlessness, lack of defense, vulnerability, etc.
Just because there are no personalities to take charge of those questions.
God's own answer is, let the personalities arise.
Now you can see the picture of what churches are supposed to be doing, right?
Yes.
I think it's clear what churches are meant for.
Yes.
to be raising up deliverers and saviors, personalities. If you are so touched today, what's going on? And I like it, and I'm happy for you. Come, share with us your burdens, share with us your sorrow, share with us your tears, so that we could experience that same reality of what you are experiencing. Give her the microphone.
I'm just angry at myself. I've been such a fool. Such a fool. In 1994, I came to Russia. And I came to study, but it was too cold, so I left. But when I was here in Russia, one day, 11 a.m. in the morning, I was looking out the window, it was snowing, and I saw a picture. I wasn't dreaming, it wasn't a dream, it's a vision on the cloud. It was Christ and 3 children. I was panicking. I said, oh, what's this? I wasn't sure what it was. I would look up, I would look down, he was just staring at me. Then suddenly, it was like a stream, it just went, and I saw a Bible. He said, read your Bible. I panicked. I had this small New Testament Bible. I picked it up, and I read it for a week. I didn't even understand what I was doing, and I stopped. As usual, carried on with my life. And for some years now, I see him in my dream. He doesn't say anything to me. He would just be staring, but with very peaceful eyes. I see it now. I can remember it. And he would just say nothing. He'd be watching me, and I'll be panicking. I'll say, oh, what do I do? Oh, speak to me. But the last one, I think it was 2 months ago, I saw Christ in my dream again, and I was actually, I was in a car with my daughter. We came to a roundabout. I don't know where we're going. Anyway, we missed the road. Then suddenly, I was walking on the street with my late mom. Then at some point, I didn't see my mom again, so I said, oh, maybe I was walking faster than her, so that I have left her behind. I turned, I didn't see her. Then I saw Christ. As I'm talking, I can remember he was wearing, he had not very long hair, but casual, a white robe, brown loafers. So he was walking beside me. So we were walking, so I turned and saw him. So he smiled. I smiled back. I said, oh my God. I said, so he was looking at me again, but these peaceful eyes. Then I said to him, I'm so confused. Why are you here again? He said, what do you want? I said, I just want to pray and understand it. He said, okay. We were walking. He said, okay. He looked up to heaven, and then he put his hands together. He said, it's done. It's been done. I said, okay. Then I turned and said to him, out of curiosity, that when people encounter you, they want to see the mark on your finger. So he brought out a pen, because he was faint. He circled it, he showed me. Then I got to, and I was going to the village, my village. But suddenly, I didn't see him, I just got home. In no dream, I got home. And I saw my mom in the house, and my brother, my immediate elder brother, who lives in London, but in the village. Then I was excited because I saw Christ, I spoke to him. Then I said to my mom, oh, so how did you get here? And then I was excited. I started telling them how I encountered Christ. And my brother was laughing at me mockingly, like, yeah, right, you saw Christ. But my anger and my pain is that, what have I been doing? Why did I not take action? Why have I not done anything? I have compassion, I have love for people. I've helped so many people in the UK, personally, but that's not what God is talking. That's not the scripture. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just feel that God,
But why do you say you've been a fool?
I've been a fool because I didn't listen, I didn't obey him, I didn't search, I didn't go for knowledge. I could have gone for to learn.
And
I kept
that
quiet.
might be the reason why your
kept
business,
silent.
why your business empire collapsed.
Collapsed.
Because God gave her the wisdom to build. How big was your company?
We were in for at least certain 3 years. We were turning over £1 million. We had over 55 workers
in the UK.
In the UK.
Okay,
You know?
and that's just by herself. You know, she tried her best.
No, my husband has come then, so we're working together.
So then, but she was supposed to use the purpose of wealth, influence, everything is for kingdom purposes. It's for this thing. And but when you just live for your family, for yourself. Because even people like, you know, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they understand these things. And we say they are unbelievers. They live for the kingdom purposes. We are the ones who are selfish. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I thank God. I thank God that I found. The day I spoke to him, I said to him, "Where have you been all my life?" That was what I said. He said, "It's okay. I just hope it's not too late for me and that I will not die until I fulfill my purpose on earth."
Character 5. Ordinary men, mere mortals. Next. God himself is a supernatural God, so we should live a super life. A life out of the ordinary, a life of more than enough, a life of great adventures, a life of worthy goals, a life that makes a difference, a life of a deliverer, a life of a personality when we don't die like mere mortals. Next. History will judge societies and governments and their institutions not by how big they are or how well they serve the rich and the powerful, but by how effectively they respond to the needs of the poor and the helpless. Cesar Chavez.
Oh, yeah.
Next. When children of God are unwilling to pay the price and become personalities, it grieves the heart of God. We are supposed to be gods among people because we take responsibilities for the earth. If not, we live ordinary life of mere mortals. Next. The only alternative, die the death of mere mortals. You have refused to see and walk in your authority. You did not carry out the function of a defender of the defenseless, representatives of celestial justice. In such a case, you are reduced from the level of gods to the level of ordinary men.
That's what has been happening to all of us, to the church.
Next. To fulfill God's expectations of running the earth, you must mature, grow, become personalities. Next. Genesis 1 verses 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." This verse reveals to us God's intentions in relations to man. Man was not sent to the earth to be a weakling, a puppet, marionette, and figurehead. Man is supposed to be in charge of the earth. God created man for dominion, but not over one another. Men are supposed to be personalities that take charge. Men have to know who they are. Stand up for hypocrisy. If you don't, the hypocrites will teach. Stand up for ignorance, because if you don't,
Not for, so true.
sorry. Stand up to hypocrisy. If you don't, the hypocrites will teach. Stand up to ignorance, because if you don't, the ignorance will run free to spread ignorance like a disease. Stand up for truth. If you don't, then there is no truth to your existence. If you don't stand up for all that is right, then understand that you are part of the reason why there is so much wrong in the world. Susie Kazim.
I said, and she's probably not a Christian.
No.
Who is she?
Most of them, they are not Christians. Yeah.
Who is she, please?
I think maybe she's a writer or something. I don't even remember. Can you read it again?
Stand up to hypocrisy. If you don't, the hypocrites will teach. Stand up to ignorance, because if you don't, the ignorant will run free to spread ignorance like a disease. Stand up for truth. If you don't, then there is no truth to your existence. If you don't stand up for all that is right, then understand that you are part of the reason why there is so much wrong in the world. Susie Kazim. Next. There are processes in every achievement. There would be stages whereby the young must grow. There must be stages of apprenticeship. There must be stages of sons, fathers, daughters, and mother. These stages are to be viewed in the context that people in the lower levels are evolving into the fullness of their potentials. Next.
To grow. Yes. We must help people to evolve.
The main lesson.
Not keep them down.
The main lesson, all men must be taught to become personalities that rule and manage his own land of promise.
Their own land of promise, yeah. Okay.
Responsibility should be our second nature. Personalities are supposed to take responsibility for their land and society. Responsibility starts with me. Next. Why we must embrace the challenge of becoming personalities. We are not living in a perfect world. We live among men who have been robbed and deprived of their dignity and self-esteem.
That's my concept.
We have the poor, the oppressed, the homeless, the fatherless, and the destitute. Next. If you want your prayers answered, you get off your knees and do the one thing you're praying someone else will do for you.
Chiwe, that one got you.
Shannon Elder.
Read it again.
If you want your prayers answered, you get off your knees and do the one thing you are praying someone else will do for you.
That's why I wrote that book, Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth. It's a myth.
Next. What does God think of you? Is he rejoicing as he looks at how you are living your life right now? Or is he disillusioned? Or are you among the potential gods that will die as ordinary men? What will your legacy be? That of an accomplished personality or that of a weakling marionette that never left any mark of their visit to the planet Earth? Next. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. John Wesley. Next. I pray and hope that this teaching plays a role in raising sons back to God, of whom he would be proud of. Sons who will pay the price of becoming real personalities for God. Sons who will take full responsibility to ruling and managing the planet for God. Men and women who will not close their eyes to the destitute of their age. Men and women who will bring justice, truth, and equity to the needy in their world. May you be one of them.